Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Wired Nerdy Podcast. This is season number 3, episode number 10. My name is Keith. This is Doug, and we are exhausted, everybody.
Yeah, it's been a long day, but it's been a great one.
We have. We're filming this podcast at the end of a very long day, but a lot of cool stuff to share with you guys. You can probably kind of tell by what I'm wearing, and then I still even have my. You got your armband on there too.
Yeah.
Today was the Kansas City Comic Con. We have been going. This is my 9th or 10th year. Kind of a blur. Actually, maybe longer than that.
This is my 3rd year in a row with you. Yeah.
I believe this is my 14th year.
Oh, nice.
And so, just as if you didn't know it, this is Doug's 3rd year. But last year, I was raging. If you go back and look at last season,
it was not good.
It was not good. I was not happy.
Yeah.
How long did we wait outside?
I would say a minimum of 2 hours.
It was insane. Maybe more.
Yeah.
And it was so poorly done. And I know I even was so mad. Not only did I rave about it on the podcast, but I filled out a survey. I railed them. It was so bad. And I told you, if it was bad again this year, I don't want to go back. We'll go to like
totally understandable.
Con.
Yeah.
But the good news is this year they redeemed themselves. We'll talk about that here in a bit. But we've took photos today. We want to share the experience with you. This will be our main topic for today. We're going to skip the nerd news, mainly because we're tired and we need to go take a nap because we're old. But we're going to start off. Let me get the share going here.
Yeah.
Let me get
I think we can start with kind of what we're wearing, if we get those photos right. So I found this on Amazon. I thought I can't just go to Comic-Con with some boring shirt. So I really love D&D right now, and I'm playing it more and more and more. So for those not watching, I have a guy kind of shrugging his shoulders with a number 1 die on a D20. Guess I'll die. So pretty funny shirt. And it was really good looking back today because I got so many people looking at the shirt and so many people saying, "Hey, bro, awesome shirt." So I did a good job.
So many compliments on the shirt.
Yeah, it was great.
Dude, people loved it. It was great. And so, yeah, I love the shirt. I've not seen this one before. It looks awesome, and I think it's wonderful. You tell
had
by
a banging shirt too. I loved it.
So the story behind this is at work. We were supposed to do a Hawaiian shirt Friday on our Zoom calls. I had ordered this from Etsy. I don't own any Hawaiian shirts. I'm like, look, if I'm gonna wear one, all these people they're like sports bros, so they're all gonna like do like normal Hawaiian shirts, that sort of thing. So I've never worn this. I've had it for a while. Had it custom made off of Etsy. It's pretty loud. But I really, really like it. This is my.
It's very Keith style Hawaiian. I love it.
It is. If you're gonna do it, man, you gotta do it right. So, it's super lightweight. I wore a shirt under it because I didn't know what the weather was gonna be like today, and we topped out at about 65.
Well, yeah, and I think we that bad experience from last year. We were pretty worried about waiting out in the cold for 2 hours.
Exactly. The wind was blowing around, and it was just nasty, nasty cold.
Yeah, so to move us on, we've got our swag on. We're looking fresh, looking good. Flash forward to Kansas City. We're in the line. I think it took us less than 20 minutes, say, if that.
Oh, dude, it was
fast.
Yeah.
If for those watching, here's a picture of us in the line. I mean, it took no time at all.
It did. We were like right up, like my son said, he was like, well, we can see the door. Where last year we waited forever and you
last year we were in the same spot, but we were turned around facing the other way.
Correct.
Because they had 2 or 3 lines going.
Zigzagging.
Yeah. So this was so much better.
And mad kudos to the way that they did this, because as we flip through here, which I don't mean to get to that one.
I believe I have another one of the
I think it's at the very beginning. I'm going to have to blow through all of them here. I'm just going to start at the beginning.
Yeah. So as you're pulling that up, we go around the corner. We're kind of in this main drive-through carport kind of situation, if I can explain it right. They had tons of lines on the ground. I didn't really know what they were for until they directed us. So what you're looking at now is kind of the parking lot area. They've got these white lines. You would queue up on these lines. They would move you in 4 or 5 lines at a time. So efficient. I mean, they got us in so fast. It was perfect.
I've never been herded this way before, and it was the most efficient way I've ever been herded. So you line up on every one of these lines, and I think it was they only allowed 3 or 4 lines. I think it was 3 lines to move forward at a time.
And it works so well.
Dude.
They had so much more help, better help this year.
The
People
staff,
directing you where to go, people you telling you what to do.
they were outside.
Last year's experience, so much better.
Oh yeah, dude.
So kudos to them this year.
They redeemed themselves, hands down. So I will be going back. So got our proverbial
gotta
band.
Get our little wristbands in. Awesome.
That's right. So we started out there, and this was heavy because they had Christopher Lloyd was going to be there. So a lot of Back to the Future stuff. And of course, they had one of the DeLoreans. There's a couple of these. This is probably a repro, if I remember correctly. It's not one of the ones from the movies. But
yeah, we got a Marty McFly costume on the left and a Marty McFly on the right in the picture.
That's right. Look at that.
I didn't know I caught that.
There were a lot of Marty McFlys. You got some good pictures here. Now, I will say this, like Doug was on fire with, so you're going to see some duplicate pictures because if you see me off to the left there, I'm taking pictures along with him. And then I realized, I was just like, dude, I'll do video, you do photos, and you were on your A game today. So most of the pictures you're going to see here are from Doug.
Well, and we'll talk about it at the end of the podcast. Just help me remember, but iPhone. I talked about last year, battery issues, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. iPhone this year.
We definitely will.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some nice little touches on this. I love how they have Save the Clock Tower inside of the dashboard.
Flux capacitors all lit up in the back. It's great.
They've got the plutonium case.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
1.21 gigawatts worth. Yeah.
There's another angle you can see it at, which is good. Now this is signed. If you look on the dash, it is signed by Christopher Lloyd there on the which I don't know if they did it at this con.
Got a little hail damage. That's okay, or time flux damage.
Who knows? So after you moved out beyond this, they had a lot of good cosplay stuff. This is Neverending Story, if I remember correctly.
It is. You know, I can't remember the dragon's name, but the dragon was there to the right. There's so many people. Falcor? I couldn't really get it. Falcor, thank you.
I think so.
Or is Falcor the horse? I don't know.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. The horse is down below there, but the dragon, maybe Falcor's to the right. I wanted to get a great shot, but there's just so many people, which you'll see coming up.
Yeah. There were like so many people.
But I think it was better than last year, like less crowded, I think, when we went. I don't know.
You know, there were or
moments more well managed.
Maybe? Yeah, there were more moments of where the crowd seemed to be a little bit better managed there. But yeah, man, I don't know. It was a pleasant experience. This was cool. We see this every year where they have the wheelchairs. Now they didn't have as many this year. This was the only one that they had brought where they mod out these wheelchairs for
and
kids.
It's so cool. You know, cosplay for kids or adults with disabilities.
Yeah.
If you look on the picture back behind them, this guy is cosplaying the Chiefs Kaufman, or I almost said Kaufman Stadium. I'm sorry.
I know what you mean.
The Chiefs Stadium, Arrowhead. Kaufman's next door,
Yeah, it's cool. They trick out their devices that their wheels that they have, their wheelchairs, and it makes them feel like they can be a part of it.
Absolutely,
and I think that's an awesome thing. Of course, R2D2 is there every year.
Mm-hmm.
You got a dude like driving him around with a remote control, but they had a lab where there was this whole section where they're putting together a bunch of R2 units, and I heard somebody say that if you go over there, of course, these cost a couple $1,000. You can go over there and make one with them and pick the parts out.
That's awesome.
Which was kind of new, and I thought that was kind of neat. Keep on going. Here we go. This was new. This is the Pinball Alley.
Yeah. So the thing that caught my attention is this piece right here on the table in front of us. I thought it was just like a light up display or something. No, it is an actual pinball machine, and we'll get a closer up here.
We do. And so another pinball shot there. We're just kind of feeling them out there. A little blurry. There you go.
So I couldn't really get a top down. Like I said, they want you to stay back a little bit. But talk about awesomeness. The little tiny pinball machine. You got your plunger button there, if I'm saying it right, at the bottom.
Yeah. It was like a circular. Now, which I didn't mean to go back there. But what was interesting about it was how small it is. I bet that's a really hard pinball machine to play.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the action should be fast. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was custom. Kind of cool. You don't see that every day. So that's kind of cool. Getting into art. Now, let's talk about this. This is one thing we noticed is there's always a large showing of artwork. But this year, man, I feel like they were everywhere.
It took up half the hall, I think. Yeah.
Dude, they were heavy.
Well,
on
and
the
I
artist.
wonder, is it availability of the vendors or is it like a theme? Because, the first year it was heavy on the merchandise and
It
stuff.
was, yeah,
Second year was heavy on the stars in the
yep,
celebrity row. And this year, tons and tons and tons of artists and authors and comic book makers
yeah.
and stuff like that.
A lot more creators, which is cool. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Now I know like there were some merch things that I was looking for that weren't there. Like I love those etched coffee cups.
Oh, yeah.
We couldn't find them. I don't think they were there at the show
We
this
searched it
year.
all over. I hope we didn't miss it, but
Yeah, I hope not, but we couldn't find them. But we did find tons of art. Now you have new interests,
I do.
and
I've been playing D&D a lot. I just completed a one-shot, leveled up, woohoo! But D&D is really on my brain at the moment, so I've been looking for some stuff
and the cool
I
thing about that is it gave you more stuff to
to
like
possibly purchase. Yeah,
like to seek out and to look at, and that's where we seeked out some of the more of these things. This place was so cool. Everything was magnetic, I believe it
yeah,
was, with each one of those corners.
yeah. And I think you see the sign back there. He had neodymium magnets. I know I said that wrong, but super, super strong. So
Yeah,
you don't have to worry. And he kind of showed us worry about the dice falling out as you're carrying them in your bag or your hand or whatever.
exactly. And this blind that he has for DM, he had laser etched instructions
Yeah.
for currency, damage, magics, and spells casting, combat basic. Such a cool idea.
Now, I think I heard him say that you can customize it to your class. So you see the spells on the right. If your class does a certain
Mhm.
spell thing, that's
Yep.
what you burn in on the wood.
Yep. It's so cool.
Really cool concept.
Yeah, he had some great stuff. There's a close up of it. My only critique on this would be I like that he used a lighter stain, but it was a little bit hard to read with some of the
It is
grains.
very hard to read. Yeah.
But not to take anything away from it, it's still
It's
freaking
really
cool.
cool.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen anything like that before. Tons of dice holders. Like
Yep. And you can see those strong magnets there.
what I loved about this too was it doubles with these dice holders because not only does it hold the dice, but then on the right it's a mini tray, so that
Yep.
you can roll in. I thought that was very versatile. Big etching this year. A lot of people etching wood and doing things like that. So, and here you can Doug took this picture. This is where
I like to show the crowd size.
sea of humanity.
So I don't have the picture from last year to compare, but what you can see here is pockets of emptiness. And not saying that it wasn't crowded, but I think this year maybe the crowd is a little more managed. Maybe they spread some stuff out.
I
We
think
could
so.
actually move a lot better, and we could browse the shops a little
We
better.
weren't as cramped. I think, however, they did the layout. Also, we got there. We did leave a little. We left 30 minutes or so earlier. That may have helped, but we could tell whenever it got busier as we went on.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't know if I got one later, but it got super busy. And then you were on the hunt for a comic.
I
believe the 2 comics you bought are in this picture.
They are in this picture, but we're going to talk about our pickups at the end of this because we are going to do pickups at the end.
Yeah, if you can see his comics here, that's great.
Yeah.
We're not getting ahead yet.
Yeah, we won't get ahead of that, but you'll see more photos of comics because what we did this year was we hit up more comic stands because I was on the hunt for something
absolutely
grail wise that I decided I wanted, and I'll get into that later. It was an adventure, wasn't it, Doug?
It was. Yeah.
Good old fashioned lightsabers, the battle sabers, I believe they call these.
It's really cool. I've shared this for the last 2 years, I think. You get to build your own lightsaber, every piece, your crystal that goes inside of it, everything.
It's a super popular booth. There's always a billion people around it. Now, these were cool. I'm going to have to spin this photo around.
Yeah.
These are all metal. And I think somebody was making them, if I remember correctly, or they were a line or a series.
And they had different sets. So you see the boxes to the left and right. I don't exactly know what those are. They're anime. But each little box had its own thing just like this with all kinds of stuff.
And this was the Zelda ones, and you can see the Master Sword.
I had to take pictures of what I knew, hopefully, to talk about it.
Yeah. No, this is great. But these were really cool, like trinkets that people would wear around their neck, and just different conversation pieces. So it was just kind of neat to see items like this.
Yeah, very cool.
More comic books. You're going to see that throughout here. So because we were spending a lot of time looking at comics.
Hunting down that comic. The one thing I like to talk about these real quick is you'll see the different styles of display. And it's amazing how, you get this whole big space and they have to build a display around it.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting how some would bundle series together. Some like
Yeah.
you kind of you figure out what works well, what you like, what you don't like, and so yeah, it's crazy. Some of these are graded ones are just top shelf.
Uh,
Mask as always, you got a lot of cosplayers, so it's
Yep.
always super
Some of them were
popular.
pretty wild there, yeah.
They're like super detailed,
That
like
tongue coming out, that's kinda creepy. That's the liquor from Resident Evil.
that's right. That's
I
right.
don't know if that's the name of it.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. You thought minifigs. I remember he's
I
like, "Ooh,"
thought these were tons and
he goes,
tons of
"Ooh,
D&D
minifigs."
minifigs.
And then he runs away and he comes back. He goes, "It was just
It was
Legos."
Legos, but they're still cool, though.
They're pretty cool. These
Yeah.
are very popular with people.
More
More
comics.
comics. Yep, we're going to see this, and we'll explain why you're seeing so many. We hit up so many booths.
We were on the hunt.
This was a cool thing because you're a huge Fallout fan.
Oh,
Like,
yes, big
massive.
time.
And this dude, oh man, he had
All the
like,
stuff there on the bottom row,
oh
yep.
my gosh, like the double tap cola, the quick revive, like
Yep.
those are deep cuts within
Oh, yeah.
the Fallout lore. And I love the New Vegas one on the bottom right. These were posters, weren't they? I think of artwork. That he
And
had done.
not to give too much of a shout out, but we're going to Vegas and Fallout on Amazon Prime.
Oh, that's true. So this stuff
So
may
I'm
be
pretty
coming
excited.
more. Now we got a picture of the ray gun, I believe. It's coming
There's
up
a
here,
better one coming up. Yeah.
like right there.
Yep.
Last year. But this dude is still here. He's got all kinds of different Nuka-Cola. And what's really neat is he puts his stands on these LED. I guess they're 3D
It's
printed.
almost like a candle warmer, but it's got a light in it.
And it makes the soda glow, kind of like the
Yeah.
game. It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
So he had some pretty cool stuff there. And there's more of his wares. And his caps look really nice too. He
They
did a really
look
good job.
really good, high quality.
What's funny was Fallout was so huge last year, and it was a little less this year. Why? Because the show isn't on air. You can tell what's popular. Based off of people's cosplay, and based off of just exactly what are the different wares that you see.
You know, I think the theme this year was Doctor Who. Tons and tons of Doctor Who cosplay.
Doctor Who
but
and
I
Back
didn't
to the
see
Future.
a lot of. Sorry, good.
No, you're right. I was agreeing with you. Doctor Who and Back to the Future.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
And then I was going to say there wasn't a lot of Doctor Who merch, but maybe I don't know what it looks like either.
I mean, there's a lot of cosplay, though, for sure. Speaking of which, this was one of them. Look at the Gears of War armor set that this dude made. Like, this is from SKS Props, using HD foam. And my gosh, some of his stuff was just...
all that in foam. It looks amazing. You know, we had some pictures from the last year and the year before that. The things they can do with foam is crazy.
It is absolutely crazy. I think we got a close up here. Look at that. Jeez. So good. And right next to him was different trinkets that you could buy. They were like drink skulls you can drink out of. And
now the stuff on the left, we talked to our friend Ron, and he had some kind of potion in something like that. So that'd be
for
cool
D&D.
for D&D. Yep.
Yeah.
See, I'm on the theme here.
Yeah, you are. So yeah, you could use that for your D&D games.
Some kind of potion. Yeah.
It's really cool, the stuff that people can make. Now you don't see it very well because this was probably my photo on this one, but these dudes dressed up as a Captain America, Iron Man, and then the Patriot, I think, or that was the 01.
Yeah.
Maybe this one was the Patriot. It's been a
different Mark series.
But they had themselves their very own Stan Lee that was walking. There you go. Walking around with them. Dude, their suits were impressive. They even clanked when they walked.
They did.
They had metal on the base as they walked around. And they had their own Stan Lee with them, which is
awesome.
Hilarious. Keep on going. They had Darth Vader there, of course, doing lightsaber fights, which was kind of cool.
Training some young Jedis there.
Had the ATST, which was featured, I believe, last year as well. But the cosplay around this was really good because, you know, they have the bunker silo there, and they even had Ewoks with
Dead Star.
I love the Stormtrooper helmet on a stick there. That was pretty cool. Now, this was awesome. Again, in the cosplay area, the leather working on this was just amazing. Like, some do foam, some do leather, and that's what they had here at this particular booth. And what caught our eye was the Critical Role sign, though, because we thought we were on the hunt for like different D&D stuff. So.
And you talk about cosplay. This lady, I meant to get a photo of her, and she had horns and a tail and all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah,
amazing cosplay.
Now, I was looking at these backpacks. These are these Equilibrium backpacks, and it was pretty interesting. If you haven't seen these before, they're very modular. And what you can do with these equilibrium backpacks is, which I went too far, you can actually break them apart. You customize them. They measure you, and like if you go on a trip, you can disassemble the back half of them and only have a lighter version of it. And it's modular. It breaks apart, and it's so cool. You basically custom build the one that you want. Now they were pricey, so I was looking at them. I'm like, I don't want to spend that right now. So I was like, maybe I'll look at it online. But they were kind of cool to see. Their booth. They've had massive booths before, much smaller this year, but they were still there, and I don't think they were last year. Loved this artwork. This guy has been there. Banners. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And they're just beautiful, especially when he does the Starship series, as you see behind him.
Yep.
And that was one of the ones that I had pointed out to Doug there. Now, my son went crazy for these. These are, how would you describe it? What's the material?
Like I would say they're leather or pleather scrolls that a map has been put on.
Yep. What was he get? Middle Earth?
Yeah, the two at the top, actually, I think. The one left, well, I don't know what that center map is. I know he got the hand.
Yeah, he definitely got the Brotherhood from Skyrim, because he loves that. You see the hand there. But then he had also got a Middle Earth map, and he'll most definitely probably hang these things up on his walls.
Oh, absolutely. I don't see the Middle Earth one. I don't believe that's it.
We may not have gotten a picture of that one.
So, no, I got a close-up of Jurassic Park. I thought that was really cool. I think.
Yeah. Well, and what's really cool, these books that you see, they had a never-ending storybook there on the very left. Something was laying on it. But each one of these books, they were the actual books, but they put leather bindings on them and made them special. So kind of neat if somebody like had a book that they like or book series, you can get those custom covers.
Oh, I take a detour because you caught my attention. Cult of the Lamb, which this game is crazy. Anyway.
It's off the rails, but yeah, they made some medallions of Cult of the Lamb, and I was just like, "Oh, Doug, check that out." If
you haven't heard about that game, you need to check it out. Cult of the Lamb.
It's a great indie game. Look at that dice. Now, how big would you say that was? Like,
I mean, it's taken up almost 4 fingers, so I'd say like 2 inches wide. Maybe?
You sent that to your
measurement.
Yeah. You sent that one to your D&D group and say you're going to.
Yeah, they said, that's not big enough. We need a bigger dice, and I think I found one later. I didn't take a picture.
Oh, there's even bigger ones, like some that were like a softball. So,
well, and the heaviness of that, you put it on a scale.
It had some weight. More crowds.
It's starting to get a little thicker there. Yeah,
it's getting a little. I love these, and actually, I'm going to show you guys. This is from last year. This artist takes pop culture characters, and you can see this is my mouse pad here.
Oh, you have one. Awesome.
This is what I got last year, and I love this mouse pad. So I probably would have gotten something from them if I didn't already have this, but I absolutely love this mouse pad. So I love this guy. He does some cool stuff. So I was glad to see him back. Let's keep on clicking. Some really cool statues.
They were acrylic glass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Now you can barely see, but we didn't get a picture. I don't think of it, but there was a glass hanging. It was Fallout from the TV show.
Tech and Fallout.
Yeah, and it was pricey, but it was kind of backlit and glass. It was really
well. And the cool thing they explained to us was it has its own mounting brackets and stuff. Here's the website for it.
If you want to check it out.
Yeah.
And so they always have the blacklight art. Again, you're going to see a lot of art, a lot of comic book, because that's honestly
what took up most of the convention hall.
They were heavy on it. Now I was close to getting these. These are a cool concept. The idea is if you have a favorite book, these are lockets, and they took the cover of books and put it in there. And I was really close to getting one for my wife, but I didn't quite find the books that she was looking for. Mm-hmm. But these are close. That's a great up close picture of it. So those are kind of neat. Again, what I loved about this is that commander listing there, is that really for like spell cards? I mean,
I think it is, and it gives you a little finger slot to sort through
so
the cards.
You can grab them. Yeah.
Now we've already been back by this one, but I wanted to get a closer up photo.
Yeah. Little baby couches.
This is always weird. I think I take a photo, but these are Kleenex box covers.
Tissue box, and they look like a couch.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's just interesting.
Yeah, interesting. It's fun what people make.
Yeah.
These were shadow boxes.
Yep, and then you could put lights behind them, I believe.
They had LEDs, and they were really, really well done. And I loved them.
Or they were paper mache boxes, I think.
They were, but they layered them like they're shadow boxes. So yeah, they're really cool. Now, this dude was here last year. Oh my gosh. He takes old PC parts and he salvages them and turns them into art, and not just any art. but pop culture art. Look at that. First of all, look at that
Yeah, I mean, I
photo.
got some really good photos. Yeah,
You see that stick of RAM? This is the Millennium
yeah,
Falcon made out of motherboard parts. You can see the stick of RAM there on the front. You can see like the circuitry. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I think
Isn't
there
it?
you go. There's one of the Enterprises. That's
Mhm.
probably one of the newer ones, if I remember correctly. But this guy had some impressive stuff.
It was really cool, and you know, he had the Dell computers there
He
sitting on
did.
it.
I think those were the actual machines he had salvaged parts
Yeah,
from to build his artwork.
they looked empty. Now, you know, I've always talked about needing an office plant. I probably wouldn't kill this one. It's a crocheted. Uh,
Cactus, maybe?
no, it's a succulent, right? Yeah,
Oh,
it's a cactus, but they succulents, I think. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, you won't kill that one. But
no,
that's, again, the
they,
talent of people is just crazy. These were awesome. These were to sort your dice, correct? When
yeah,
you're playing
a
D&D?
little dagger eating dice holder.
Yep. Yeah, they were neat. And then, you know, Doug and his jokes here. These were baby mini dice.
Yeah.
And I recently had to get like readers, like
Oh
bifocals, and he
yeah.
was like, "Oh, Keith, you need your readers if you play with these."
Yeah. What number is this again?
Yeah, he was busting my chops on that one. So,
You know,
but it was rightfully owned. It's not like I don't bust his chop.
I
This
just
place
thought this
was
was a cool display.
like it's fudge, but
Look how pretty
crazy,
that is. Yeah.
crazy colors. So
Yeah.
on the screen, you can see they have different flavors, but geez, the amount of dyes and stuff that they use, they really
Oh
make the
yeah.
color pop on them. I've never seen fudge like this before.
And they were busy the whole time. We
They
walked
were.
by them a couple times. They were
I
swamped.
think they were called Copper Coast Confectionaries, if I remember
Yes.
correctly.
Mhm.
These things were awesome, and I think we got a video that will come up
I
once we get to
think
the
there
photos.
is one coming up. Yeah.
These are little boxes. They have LED lights in them of all different types of IP to decorate, and
Yeah.
it'd be perfect for like a shelf. And this is really cool. And then of course, Doug, they had his wallets. You
Yeah.
got the
I got the power armor helmet
Last year.
year.
Yeah.
Yep. But they had them again. You know, I looked and looked and looked. I didn't see anything that I just couldn't live without.
He was eyeing that D&D one. You may see it on the screen there.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
green D&D one.
I did not pick it up though.
He did not. He didn't
I'll
grab
go
it.
and rip that Band-Aid off.
I know he behaved himself. I also was like, dude, you need to get this for your room. But
Absolutely, that'd look great. You know, I've got one little empty spot back here, so
yeah,
fill
you're
that up with something.
saving it for something special, right?
Yeah.
Then we're getting into Dice Central, man, dude.
Oh yeah.
They had
You
so
know,
many
I'd
dice.
had trouble finding the D&D section. We turn a corner and boom, it's just nothing but D&D tables and vendors. Now, these guys are a little on the high side, but they had some really nice stuff. Compared to all the other vendors, they seemed a little high, but
And they had a lot of weight to some of these.
they did have some quality items. So.
They did. This is really cool. Somebody made this, and it's a halfling home. It's this little decoration. Looks like a hobbit, like dwelling
You know
in
what
the
this
Shire.
reminds me of is shout out to Ron and what he creates things. What surprised me was a hay bale. Like he created a hay bale, and I thought that is the most genuine looking hay bale.
I know.
I've
You
ever
see
seen. So
stuff like
shout
that
out to
all the
Ron
time.
there.
Yeah, people who make this kind of stuff like Ron, Dan User, and you know, it's so incredible. And this is just a candle, I guess. It's for decor.
I thought it was cool.
And a dice tower with a goblin in it. It's kind of cool. Let's see here. I thought this was cool. This could fit in your pocket. It's a mini dice tower.
So the little jar of mini dice I had, it has its own tower. Yeah,
that's right. Keep on flowing here. These caught your eye. You were really liking these atomic.
Yeah, I saw them once. I couldn't get a picture. I had to come back. Little like nuclear reactors with a Fallout theme.
Yeah, I like
got some blood on them. It looks like.
I like the ammo boxes behind them.
They were cool
because they looked aged and everything. So, all right, we're gonna get through. This was awesome. These were pixel art done by this lady. She had them in coasters, and I love this. Would you say Stardew Valley? It's very Stardew Valley art. Is what it reminds me of. So yeah, the talent is just absolutely unbelievable in this. Getting to the near end of our little slideshow here is more of the artwork.
Yeah,
and I think we're
on some more acrylic glass.
Going to be getting into our season. Now we rounded the day out with a Whataburger because we did it last year. Son really liked it.
Absolutely.
So.
And we don't have anything like that close to us. So.
We don't. So we're like, you know what? Let's go to a restaurant that we normally don't get to go to. Of course, you see Doug's shirt here. I'm going to get to our videos. Here you go. You can see like the crowd. There's the flux capacitor going crazy on the DeLorean. Might be a little blurry. I was trying to navigate around all the people. Weird Al Yankovic was in my way there.
Yeah. Definitely a crowd favorite, the DeLorean.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good one. By
That's
you.
a good shot. And then I think I may actually have the Never Ending Story Falcos. Yeah, I took a video here.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
And let's see. There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
I snuck one in there. There he is. People would pay money to get their photo to write on that thing. So
yeah,
it was interesting. Blurrier shot again. You're getting bumped around and moved. It's so hard.
It's hard
to
get a good one.
This dude was showing people how to make chainmail, and you could actually sit there and he'd work with you on it and show you how to do it. And
it was really cool.
I thought that was really cool. And a lot of people had like real chainmail on, but and if you scanned his QR code, he'd send you his videos, and there's these kits he would sell to help you make the chainmail. And I thought that was
it was very cool,
really different. There is the station where you could build your droid.
Yep.
And you can see the heads off some of them. And
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
All kinds of them. You pick your parts. I zoomed in on this Cylon here. I thought he had a good costume.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, there's R2 moving around.
See the meme of I get that reference since I watched Battlestar Galactica.
No, you did get that.
I get that.
Cylon. Again, just the pinball area.
Yep.
I didn't take as much video this year just simply because it was so busy in some of these areas. Now you can see that pinball lit up, the circular
there's
one.
There's my phone shooting in there. Yep.
And so you can see it actually like flashing and moving.
It does look like it'd be very hard.
It does.
Very quick action.
Of course, that's one of the shots that I took there. You can see his Wolverine armor on the right that he created.
It looks amazing. It's got scratches, bullet holes.
It's the paint job on it's so good too.
Yeah.
And this is where we're getting to the duplicates. Now, I thought these were hilarious. They took the little
from the newest relaunch,
yeah, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Men. They made a bunch of them that you could clip, but they're $80. I thought that was kind of like, that's cool, but is it $80 cool? I don't know.
Yeah, unless you get all of them, I don't know.
I don't know, maybe. Oh, and this is the video of Stan Lee and the Iron Man. And if we have the sound on, when this dude's walking, you can hear him clanking. Clank, clank, clank. These were so impressive. And people would stop them, pose. And that's great about this too, because people don't charge money or anything. They just say, hey, can I take a picture with you? And then little kids go up there and I don't know. It's a cool service.
It was cool. So many people were taking pictures. It's just a really good event.
It really is. And you were talking about the kindness of people when you're taking photos, how polite they are.
Yeah, I would take a photo of, just merchandise, not even a cosplayer, and they'd be like, hey, get your photo, I don't want to get in your way.
Yeah, exactly. And now this is the footage of, you already saw the photos, but of the ATST, and you can see their costumes and as they're moving,
so well detailed,
just very well detailed. The Tusken Raider was holding up the thing for me. I think he even had a voice box thing, so he made the little noise as well. I mean, the detail. Those Ewoks were kind of tall, though, I was going to say.
Oh, yeah. Growth spurt there.
Yeah. This is the picture I sent to my son. He immediately went to go buy the We Know canvas that they had. And then finally, he knew Doug was looking at some of these, and this is a Dragon's Keep dice roller. And this thing, it's fancy.
It looked amazing, yeah.
But it wasn't what you were looking for, exactly. But it's beautiful, though. So,
you look down in the top of it, and it has a spiral staircase that your dice is just rolling down.
They just roll down and kick out in the bottom. So it was very cool. So I think that does it for our photos. So let's get into the last half of this, and let's talk about our pickups. And I'll let you go first. You were looking for something very specific. Did you find it? What was it? What was your criteria?
And going into this, I thought, let's get some D&D stuff, because I've been playing it a lot, and my busy season's almost over. Hopefully I'll get to play a lot more D&D. So I went in looking for some dice, or like a dice jail, or a dice tower. And if you don't know what a dice tower is, the thing we just showed, it's just a tower. You drop your dice in, and it rolls it for you. So I will show my pickup here. Let me assemble it. So I bought a dice tower, nothing fancy, but what I bought it for was transport. Like, I can easily fold it down. I can put my dice in there, put it in my backpack.
So it stores the magnets on too, right?
So yeah, these two magnets will hold it in place. Let me assemble it here, and
that's
boom.
Cool.
So, and then if it doesn't fall apart, Magnets aren't that strong. You drop your dice in there, and
I like that
yeah,
it acts as a dice holder,
yeah,
a dice tower, and it's got the tray built into it, so it doesn't get away from you.
yeah.
And
So it's
it's portable.
really cool. So I'm definitely gonna put that in my pack there.
Yeah. Then now you can just throw that in your backpack and you can play on the go. So
Yep,
you did find what you were looking for.
I
So
did. I found something to purchase that I'm going to be using. So
okay, very
yeah,
cool. So for me, I've been on this kick where I'm almost done with watching the cartoon on Amazon by Robert Kirkman, which is Invincible. Image Comics. Robert Kirkman, if you don't know, did Walking Dead. Now, keep in mind, I used to collect comics when I was younger. As you know, big Superman fan. I have a whole complete set series of the Death of Superman, and I have some really good ones in my collection. I don't actively collect anymore, mainly because I feel like, you know what, I'm good. I'll read them digitally more than anything.
Mhm.
But since I've been on this kick, I told Doug, told my wife, I was like, look, I would love. I don't need to get like a whole complete set series or whatever, because it's been out for a while, Invincible, and I had watched season 1 and I really liked it, but it stuck with me. And I thought, you know what, it would be really nice for me to get at least one or two of the variants of the very first comic book that was released of Invincible. And there's a lot of variants. Okay. I didn't realize, and I should have, because the show's on right now, it's so overpopular. You know, Doug, did we go to like what, 15?
we went till he's 15. The pictures don't do it justice, and
Oh yeah.
I was in on it with you. I'm like, yes, we
He was
got to
helping
get
me.
this. This is what Keith wants.
We
Let's
were
get
striking
this.
out though. Like Doug would walk up
Yeah.
and like, look, we're looking for any variant of issue number 1 of Invincible. And
we kept getting the same answer. Yep. I took the words out of your mouth, but you
Oh, yeah.
let us know.
No,
Yeah.
you're spot on. They just were like, nope, don't have it. We had it yesterday, but
Yeah.
that's very popular. It's very popular. We had a run on it yesterday. We had a run. Kept telling us that over and
Yeah.
over again, and it was really disheartening. And I was like, Doug, you would know. I feel like Neo Ness. He was talking about on the podcast about he decided he's going to collect. And what does he choose? He chooses the hardest thing to collect for, which is the Neo Geo, the most rarest. That's what I feel like. Like my time to decide to pick this one particular is when it's at its height of popularity, and so it was kind of frustrating. However, we did stumble across. They did have an OG, like original issue 1. It was $1,400 and it was graded. And I was like,
I mean, that's the one you wanted too.
it is. I was like,
no.
Yeah. And then he had another one that was graded. That was like an issue 105. It was beautiful, immaculate, 9.8 graded, but it was like $200. And I was like, but we were persistent.
Yep.
And what did I find? Not only did I find one, but I found 2 variants of issue number 1, and they are the sketch variants. The first one, this is issue great. 1 of Invincible. Yeah. That's Invincible himself. Now, there is a version of this with the cover that's actually full colored. So this is what it looks like before they actually do the coloring, and it's just a straight up sketch. Yep. And then the other one, which I'm really excited about, is Omega Man, his father, if you know the story, also sketched, not full colored. Yeah. And so I was able to haggle him down about $50 on these. And then when Doug and I went, I am going to get these graded. After I get them graded, holy crap. Like, it's
going to be great.
It's going to be great. So it's one of those things, like, I was really glad that I did it. I was really shocked that we found any of them. And these were his last 2. So these were, besides the $1,400 one, these were the only 2 issue ones. I'm going to say it at the entire con. Now,
I think so. Yeah. Because we searched hard everywhere. And heavy. Yeah.
Now, there was one vendor who I got to a point where I stopped saying, do you have any issue 1s of Invincible? I just said, do you have any Invincibles at all? Yeah. Most of the time, they're like, no, or we're out of them. This one booth did have a few of them, a stack of them. None of them were 1s. Prices were okay. But they were like, randoms. You're talking issue 20, maybe issue 25, that kind of a thing. So he did have some. He was keeping them under the table. And he explained to me the reason why we haven't set these out is because we have had so many people ask for them that, like, what we're doing now is that these are the last few we have in our entire store. And so only if people come up and say, do you have Invincible? Do we pull them out from under the table?
Oh,
because
okay.
he's like, we'd rather sell them in our store, but if we're going to sell them here, somebody ask, we know that they're looking for them. And I looked at Doug, I'm like, dude, you would know. I would pick one of the comics that, is one of the hardest ones to find at the
Well,
entire
yeah. But
convention.
that's the thrill of the hunt there too.
But
Yeah.
you know what, dude, we
You
nailed
did
it.
it. We both got some good pickups, I think.
We got some great pickups. So I'm going to get these
Yeah.
bad boys graded. I think they're going to be really high. I mean, just looking at them, they look pristine. And then at that point, I'll showcase on the podcast their grading, and then we'll talk about what the value sets will be post grading. I will dare say, outside of some very early Superman sets that I have, most likely these will be some of the higher end ones that I have in my collection.
Good.
And so, yeah, to me, it's more about nostalgia at this point,
Yeah.
because it's like, I really love the show. I really love Superman. And it's more about, and I don't want to own a complete whole set. I don't want to go crazy with it. I would just love to be picking up the variants of the first issue, because the first one's how it started, right? I'll probably
absolutely. It's
never
what got people into it.
I'll never get the $1,400 one. Right.
Yeah.
Although I told Doug,
unless yours comes back as a $1,400 one,
then maybe we'll switch it up. But I'll tell you what, like, I looked up, there was one of them I looked online, and it was $4,000. So I was choking at the $1,400 one. One of them with the same 9.8 near mint grading was $4,000 asking. And I'm like, you would know. I would pick. Now, I just want to be clear, these weren't cheap. Like, I didn't pay cover price on these bad boys. Doug will tell you. We'll talk about that later after I get it graded, what they ended up being. But I got a good deal on them. I definitely have like some skin on the bone, meaning that I got them for undervalue after some haggling. And then after I get them graded, we'll talk about value sets later on. But I was excited. That was my pickups. So I think overall it went really, really well. The last part I want to ask you about. So far, we rectified that. They redeemed themselves playing at KC Comic Con, knocked it out of the park with crowd control. Such a better experience. We had amazing weather. Obviously, they don't control the weather. Talk about your phone experience. You had an Android last time. You had an iPhone this time. What were the differences? Photos, battery, lay it on us. What was the difference?
I have to start with battery life because, as an Android user last year, I thought, I'm an Android user. I've been an Android user for 10 years. I know I have to take a cable. I have to take a battery pack. I have to take a wall plug-in because my Android's not going to make it all day. Going from our hometown to Kansas City, I think I had to charge my phone the whole time. And then it just starts dying while I'm taking photos. So flash forward to this year.
Yeah, last year.
Flash forward to this year. I've got the newest, latest, greatest iPhone, and it's doing great. We went from our hometown to Kansas City now. I only lost 4%. I charged it back up, I think, while we were in traffic. Get it back to 100. It went down 10%. Or 20%.
Yeah.
From 100 to 80. That's a whole day of taking photos, a whole day of texting and researching stuff.
And to be clear, you use your phone constantly on the show.
Constantly.
Doug pretty much, because he knew I was in the zone. Like,
you were hunting for stuff.
Dude, I was hopping.
Taking photos and
I was not helping you as much as I normally do. And he was taking great pictures too, like knocking them out. And I was just like, you know what? He's got this. His battery's not going to die. He loves taking photos.
Not this year.
And that allowed me to, honestly, I would just like zoom in from one booth to, and normally I don't spend that much time at the comics booths because I'm not looking for anything. I don't collect anymore. This was different this year. We hit just about every single comic vendor.
We hit almost everyone. Yeah.
We did find it. And it was only because you were able to like free me up from the podcast and be able to like take photos.
I took care of it. Yeah.
And your battery didn't die.
Yeah, I think overall, to summarize this up, we'll wrap this up, but the phone experience so much better. I'm still learning how to take iPhone photos. Yeah. I think Android might be a little bit better, or what I'm used to. I'm just not used to iPhone photos. The con was so much better. I think the crowd was, but I think the whole experience based on last year was so much better.
I agree. Now, I will say on Celebrity Row, we walked down there. They had some amazing celebrities.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
David Tennant, Katie Sackhoff.
Oh, yeah.
What was his name? Gollum's voice.
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis. Like
the Pink Power Ranger. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
They just had so many of them. The problem was this year, typically I always walk down Celebrity Row just to see them in person. And this year it was so condensed and there were so many. We couldn't even see barely any of the celebrities.
No, yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, last year they had double the celebrities, I think, or at least double the space for them. And we had some room to walk around. I think you're right. They condensed the celebrities
I think so.
pretty tightly to get more stuff in.
Yep.
Because I believe that was a complaint last year, not from us, not
Yeah,
just from us, but
generally.
from others. Is the celebrities cool, but 95% of your people coming are here for all the merch and all the other stuff.
Exactly. And my daughter, when she would go with us, she would spend almost all day in the celebrity row, and then she'd meet up with us and like buzz around all of the places we had spent hours in, like, in
Yeah.
30 minutes. And
Yeah.
you can spend all day in celebrity row now.
It takes your time, yeah.
But we tried to walk down there to check them out. It was so tight and packed. We were like, let's get out of here. Like, we couldn't even.
Yeah.
Typically, it's just cool to see people you see on TV in person at their tables, at least if you're not going to go get in line.
Well, seeing them in street clothes, seeing them interacting with
it's cool.
The non-famous people, maybe.
Yeah. It's kind of
really
cool. But this year we couldn't even get near them. There were so many. I did see a glimpse of Christopher Lloyd sitting down, signing things, and so that was kind of cool. But overall, KC Comic Con, Planet Comic Con, you guys crushed
2025. You did great.
So if you're looking at this, we're going to launch this on Saturday night. They're still open on Sunday. Check them out. It was a great event, and man, I'm glad we did it. I'm exhausted though. I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. So bring us home.
Yeah. So thank you so much for listening to us. Definitely check this out. Check out our photos. I'm going to load a bunch of the photos up on our Facebook page. You're better on Instagram. I'll let you kind of take that side of the things.
Get some memes going.
Check us out. We got something exciting next week. Make sure to come back.
We have a really good one next week.
We have a good one. I don't want to give too much away.
Yep.
But we're going to be talking to
a friend of ours.
Someone.
I'll just leave that. We'll see what that. We got a great guest.
A lot of good stuff coming up. We got the Como RetroCon. We're on a panel with some people we won't name yet. That's going to be an awesome surprise.
Yep.
A lot of stuff coming down the pipe. Thanks for listening to us. All the new people, I'm kind of rambling on. All the new people coming in, thank you so much for subscribing. Don't just watch our new stuff. Watch all that old stuff. We got some really good stuff in our back catalog. Game reviews, interviews, all kinds of stuff. So
yeah, good job. Everybody, you have an awesome week. Enjoy the weather if it's good in your part of the country. We hope that it is. And stay cool and stay nerdy. See you guys.
See ya.